I'm a computational biologist. I research things that evolve and try and understand the world through that lens. Back in the day, biology was very much people out in nature recording things and tabulating things by hand and looking through microscopes and stuff like that. But one of the really big revolutions was coming to understand genetic sequences, the structure of DNA, the way we can actually read a genome now. And so we can look at a genetic sequence, we can decode that genetic sequence, and that essentially becomes a string of letters that we store in a computer. So the human genome is like 3 billion bases long, so 3 billion letters, A, C's, G's and T's. And if you get a whole collection of these, all of a sudden you've got a huge amount of data. So we obviously need computers to deal with that, and we'll build mathematical models around which sort of describes the process by which that data has evolved or been generated, and we'll use computers to fit the data to these models. We've produced a model, we've got data, and now we want to get the data and get it to tell us about that model, find the important parameters of that model, if you like. And here parameters might be dates we're interested in, right? If we're trying to look at the relationships between genomes, say. And so we're trying to reconstruct the evolutionary history. Say, when did humans and chimpanzees last have a recent ancestor? Or we might be interested in some other aspect of the population, right? So how large was the population of humans 50,000 years ago, or 500,000 years ago, for example? It's increasingly impactful, actually. There's all this data that's now available. And it's really transformed biology. We no longer look at biology as an interesting thing which is very sort of experimental and done out in the field. We now have a lot more models. In terms of research, it's becoming more like physics, say, in terms of the mathematical and computational rigor involved. And that has a lot of impact on society. There's huge questions in medicine, obviously. I work a lot in the field of infectious disease epidemiology. We've also seen over the last few years how important that has been to understand how a disease spreads, how quickly is it spreading, where's it spreading to. All these sort of things are really important questions. I also have work in the area of cancer. So now sequencing technology has advanced to a point where you can actually sequence the genome from an individual cell, right? So you can get tiny samples from all over a body. Say someone's got cancer, they might have tumours throughout their body, and we're interested in where did that cancer start, and how has it evolved through the disease? What's the progression of the disease been, and what changes have occurred in the genome along the way that has allowed that cancer to spread so quickly? These kind of methods are increasingly being used in all parts of medicine.